nice here.
My dad has always loved Jaguars. In 1961, he traveled to a dealership in Dallas, Texas, where he purchased this E-Type fixed-head coupe. Earlier that year, it had been released to great acclaim and was desired by everyone who saw it. But the Roadster was in slightly higher demand, and so this coupe was still available. According to Jaguar's records in Coventry, England, this car was the fifth to be imported into the United States, and actually the first to come to Texas. He drove the car through several states, to many jobs, back to several homes. He got married along the way, and as these things happen, had a couple of kids. And he found that while the XKE is many things, it is not a family car. My parents purchased a second car, one with 4 doors, and after some time the Jaguar was driven less and less, and then was parked in the garage, and the detritus of a busy life slowly accumulated around it until it could barely be seen. I grew up loving this car. For me, it was my favorite place. I used to sneak out to the garage, slip between some large boxes, open the door just enough to admit my small frame, and sit inside. The light from the single bulb in the garage came through the windscreen diffusely because of the layers of dust, but it was enough light for me to see the wood steering wheel, the large Lucas switches arrayed across a shiny, polished panel. The original E-Type had a 3.8-liter inline 6-cylinder engine, making about 265 horsepower, 200 kilowatt at the crank. It had a top speed of 150 miles per hour and went from 0 to 60 in about 6.5 seconds. Very quick for its time. In the 80s, my mom had the idea to get a restoration done as a wedding anniversary present, but how to keep it a surprise? We piled more and more boxes around the car, higher and higher, many just empty, to give the illusion that a car was still there. Then, when my dad wasn't around, it was towed out and taken to a shop nearby that did restorations on a number of classic and vintage era cars. It was there for nearly 6 weeks. My dad none the wiser. When it came back, it had some minor dings removed from the body. The paint is still all original, and the engine and brakes were refreshed, and it could be registered to drive again. The interior is the original red leather as well. A project for another day. We made one more move, and the car came to its new home in a new city under its own power. My dad continued to do maintenance on it himself until issues with the rubber fuel and brake lines and lack of replacement parts caused it to be parked once again. So where to from here? At some point my dad will actually finally retire, and I hope to embark with him on a restoration project along with my own sons. But this car deserves respect. It's not only a piece of family history, it's also quite literally a piece of automotive history. It It is one of the first 500 E-Types ever made and is among one of the handful remaining in existence today. The third car ever to be added to the New York Museum of Modern Art was a Series 1 E-Type. This is the car that, as legend has it, caused Enzo Ferrari to say upon its release, "It is the most beautiful car ever made." Some car enthusiasts talk about the patina of a car and that it should be preserved. Perhaps they're right. Replace only what must be replaced, fix what must be fixed, and leave everything else alone. The car is remarkably rust-free, a touch around one rear window and some in the gas tank. The fuel system probably needs the most work, along with anything rubber. The seat leather is in very poor shape, but the rest of the interior, when reassembled and cleaned, would be respectable. A full restore would call for the replacement of a lot more than that, paint work and so on. I'm not sure what the path will be, but I can tell you one thing. It will be a road worth driving.